All right, so, a lot of you out there listening, I bet you've thought about maybe starting a woodworking business
Yeah.
right from home.
Yeah.
And today we are going to really take a deep dive into this whole idea.
Oh, okay.
We've got a great guide to help us out, Exploring Wood Profits, a guide to starting your own woodworking business.
Oh, nice.
And I think what we want to do today is figure out how we can help you turn your woodworking skills
Huh.
into a side hustle or maybe even a full-time
Right.
gig.
Yeah.
So what's the first thing that kind of jumps out at you about this wood profits?
Well, one thing I found interesting is that they emphasize that you don't need a lot of money
Okay.
to get started.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can start with a really small budget.
That's great because it's so easy to think,
Yeah.
oh, I need a big shop. I need all these fancy tools
Okay.
to get started.
It can be intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does wood profits kind of help people get over that hump?
Well, they lay it out in like a step-by-step plan. It's very specifically designed for home-based businesses.
Gotcha.
So they walk you through everything, like even writing a business plan.
Okay.
So they really go into detail about how to start.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's very helpful.
So what are some of the things that really stood out to you in wood profits? What are some of the key features?
Well, one of the things that I thought was really cool is they go into how to find profitable niches
Okay.
in woodworking.
So you're not just making like, a birdhouse or something like that.
Yeah. You're not just making whatever you want to make. You're making what people want to buy.
Yeah. And what are some examples of those profitable woodworking niches?
Well, one thing that's really popular right now is custom furniture.
Okay.
People want things that are, unique.
Right.
Another one is home decor.
Okay.
So, people are always looking for unique things to decorate their homes with.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then also personalized gifts.
Okay, cool.
So, gifts for weddings, birthdays.
That kind of thing.
So they really give you a lot of ideas.
Yeah, they give you a lot of different ideas.
For things to actually make and sell.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, what about the kind of the business side of things?
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of people who love woodworking maybe haven't thought that much about,
Right.
marketing, pricing, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
What does Wood Profits say about that?
Well, they go into that in detail too,
Okay.
like pricing strategy and things like that.
Okay.
So they give you like real solid advice,
Okay. Yeah.
for figuring out how much to charge for your work.
That's awesome. So like managing costs and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Now, what about the marketing side of things? How do they suggest people actually get their stuff out there?
Well, they talk a lot about social media.
Okay.
You know how to use social media to your advantage.
Gotcha.
And also building a website
Okay.
so that people can find you online.
Cool. And even like local craft fairs and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a mix of online and offline marketing.
Okay, great. And I know, we've talked in the past about, sometimes when you read a book like this or you get into a program, it's kind of like information overload.
Right.
And you're like, okay.
What do I do now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Wood Profits give you like ongoing support or?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They offer lifetime support.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So if you have a question or you need help, you can contact them.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like having a woodworking Yoda
Exactly.
on call 24/7. All right, cool. So I guess the next question is,
Yeah.
why? Why would somebody want to do this? Like, what are the benefits of starting a woodworking business right from home?
Well, I think one of the biggest benefits is the flexibility.
Okay.
You can set your own hours.
Okay.
You can work from home.
Cool.
You can kind of be your own boss.
I love that.
Yeah.
And there's also a huge demand, I would imagine, for this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
People love handmade.
Yeah, people want unique items.
Right.
They don't want something that's mass produced.
Yeah, and they're willing to pay for it.
Exactly.
So what about, like, if you want to start small, can you kind of scale up?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
You can start small, and then as your business grows,
Right.
you can expand.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you don't have to, like, quit your job and go all in right away.
Exactly. You can start as a side hustle
Right.
and then see where it goes.
That's awesome. And then, of course, aside from the money,
Yeah.
there's something really cool about making something with your hands.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's very satisfying.
Yeah, and that's going to be very rewarding.
It is.
So, all right, we've talked about the benefits. We've talked about some of the features of Wood Profits. How do we actually get started?
Well, the first step is to really think about your skills and interests.
Okay.
Like, what kind of woodworking are you drawn to?
Gotcha.
What are you good at?
Yeah.
What do you enjoy doing?
So really kind of hone in on your niche. Right. And once we know what we're good at and what we enjoy doing, what's next?
Then you got to do some research.
Okay.
You got to figure out what people actually want to buy.
Right.
And that's where Wood Profits comes in.
Okay.
They give you a lot of information about, market trends.
Oh, cool.
What's selling well, what's not selling well.
Gotcha. So, like, what's hot and what's not.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And then once we know what people want to buy, then what?
Then you need to make a plan.
Okay.
They call it a simple business plan.
All right, so like goals and stuff like that.
Yeah, goals, target audience, pricing, all that good stuff.
Cool. And that doesn't have to be some big scary document.
No.
Right.
It's just like a basic outline.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. What about a workspace? Like, what do they say about setting up a workspace?
Well, they emphasize that you don't need a fancy workshop.
Okay.
You can start in your garage,
Okay.
your basement, a spare room.
Cool. So you don't have to have like a dedicated.
Nope, not at all.
No. All right. That's awesome. So once we've got our workspace set up, we've got our plan.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Well, then you start creating.
Okay.
But the key is to start small.
Okay.
Don't try to do too much at once.
Gotcha.
Just pick a few products,
Okay.
perfect them, and then
get some feedback.
yeah, get some feedback from people.
Okay.
See what they think.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what about the online presence? Like, how important is that these days?
Oh, it's crucial.
Okay.
You need a website.
Okay.
You need to be on social media.
Gotcha.
You need to be where your customers are.
Cool.
Yeah.
So they help you with that too.
Oh, yeah. They have a lot of advice on that.
Okay. Awesome. Now, I know, we always like to be upfront about the challenges.
Right.
Starting a business isn't all sunshine and roses.
Definitely not.
What are some of the challenges that Wood Profits talks about? And more importantly, how do they suggest overcoming them?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is managing costs. Materials, tools, all that stuff can add up.
Sure.
So they talk about ways to save money,
Okay.
like using recycled wood,
Okay.
things like that.
That's awesome. What about time management? I imagine a lot of people who are starting this maybe have other jobs or families and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a big one.
How do they suggest you manage your time?
Well, they recommend setting realistic goals
Okay.
and breaking down big tasks into smaller tasks.
Okay.
And then they also talk about outsourcing.
Okay.
So as your business grows,
Right.
you can hire people to help you.
Gotcha. So you're not trying to do everything yourself.
Exactly.
All right. And then what about attracting customers?
Yeah,
That's got to be a challenge.
it is.
What do they say about that?
Well, they have a whole section on marketing,
Oh,
and they talk about things like promotions,
gotcha.
discounts,
Okay.
and building a strong online presence.
Cool. So using all the tools available. All right, great. And one thing that I really appreciate about Wood Profits that we've talked about a little bit is that it seems very accessible.
It is.
Even if you don't have a lot of money or a lot of experience,
Right.
you can still get started.
Absolutely.
So it's very empowering in that sense.
Yeah, it is.
All right, cool. So I think we've laid a really good foundation here.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
We've talked about what Wood Profits is all about.
Right.
We've talked about some of the benefits of starting a woodworking business
Mm-hmm.
and some of the steps involved.
Yeah.
But now I think it's time to
And get into the real nitty-gritty.
yeah, to actually see how this works in practice.
Exactly.
So when we come back for part 2 of this deep dive,
Okay.
we're going to be talking to some real-life woodworkers
Awesome.
who have successfully launched businesses
Can't wait.
from home.
Mm.
We're going to get their insights,
Okay.
their tips, their
Mm.
stories of how they did it.
Sounds great.
So stay tuned for part 2 of this deep dive
Yeah, me.
into exploring Wood Profits.
Awesome.
We'll be right back.
Okay. Welcome back. So, we just spent some time talking about Wood Profits
Yeah.
and what it can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think it's time to really see it in action.
Right. Let's see how this stuff actually works
Exactly.
in the real world.
Yeah.
Let's meet some people
Okay.
who have actually done this, who have taken their love of woodworking, turned it into a business.
Yeah, and they're making a living.
Right, from home.
Pretty inspiring.
All right, so first up, let's meet Sarah.
Okay.
She's the creative force behind Rustic Charm.
I love that name.
I know, right? And she makes all these incredible pieces
Yeah,
out of reclaimed wood.
that's so cool.
Yeah, so like old barns.
Yeah, I was going to say, where does she find this wood?
Yeah, demolition sites, places where this wood would probably just end up in a landfill.
That's amazing.
Well, no, it's a really cool concept.
Yeah.
So what kind of things does she make?
Well, she makes a variety of stuff.
Okay.
But one thing she's really known for is her farmhouse tables.
Oh, wow.
They're beautiful.
I bet.
Yeah, and they're really popular.
They're probably one of a kind, right?
Oh, yeah, totally unique.
Cool. And so she's using this reclaimed wood,
Uh-huh.
and I imagine that's a big part of her brand.
Yeah, people love that.
Right.
The story behind the wood.
Yeah, like you're not just getting a table.
Right.
You're getting a piece of history.
Exactly.
Now, what about her online presence?
Well, she's really active on social media,
Oh,
like Instagram,
gotcha.
Pinterest.
And so she's sharing photos of her work.
Yeah, beautiful photos.
Yeah. Go on. What else does she share?
She also does a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff.
Okay.
Like she'll show people her workshop.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, her process,
Cool.
how she makes things.
I bet people love that.
Yeah, they eat it up.
Now, I'm sure it hasn't always been easy.
Oh, yeah. She's had her challenges.
What are some of the things that she's struggled with?
Well, one of the biggest things was scaling her business.
Okay.
When she first started out, it was just her.
Mm-hmm.
But as she got more popular,
Yeah.
she had to figure out how to keep up with demand.
Right. You can only make so many tables
Okay.
with two hands.
Yeah.
So how did she overcome that?
Well, she invested in some equipment
Okay.
to help her streamline her process.
Gotcha.
And she also hired a part-time assistant.
Okay, cool. So she's got some help now.
Yeah, she's not doing everything herself anymore.
That's great. And it allows her to focus on what she does best,
You got
the
it.
design and the actual woodworking.
Yeah, she can be more creative.
I love that story.
Yeah, it's really inspiring.
It shows you that it's possible
Oh, yeah.
to make a living doing what you love.
It does.
All right, so let's move on to our next woodworking rock star.
Okay, who's next?
This is John, and his business is called Digital Craft.
Digital crafts.
I know, right? So he's kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum from Sarah.
Yeah.
She's all about that reclaimed wood, that rustic look.
Yeah.
He's all about technology.
Interesting.
So he uses things like computer-aided design,
Oh, wow.
CAD software.
I'm impressed.
I know, right? And he's got a laser engraver.
Cool.
So he's making these incredibly intricate designs.
So what does he make with all this technology?
Well, he's known for his engraved cutting boards.
Okay.
He does custom signage,
Okay.
personalized gifts, you name it.
Okay, so he could pretty much make anything.
Yeah, as long as it's out of wood,
Yeah.
he can design it on the computer, and then the laser does the work.
That's amazing.
Now, what's really cool is he allows his customers to provide their own designs.
Oh, wow.
So if you've got a logo or a special photo,
That's a great idea.
you can send it to him, and he'll put it on like a cutting board or a piece of wall art.
That's so cool.
He's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And what about his online presence? How does he get the word out?
Well, he's got a website,
Okay.
but he also sells on Etsy and Amazon Handmade.
So he's really covering all his bases.
Yeah. He's reaching a really wide audience.
That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not limiting himself to just one platform.
Definitely not.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a good strategy.
All right, so we've got Sarah, who's all about that rustic charm.
Right.
We've got John, who's embracing the latest technology.
Yeah.
Let's meet our final woodworking hero.
Okay. I'm excited.
This is Maria,
Okay.
and she makes the most adorable wooden toys. I know, right?
Okay.
Her business is called Little Wood Wonders.
That's so cute.
Yeah, so these toys are not only fun, but
Mhm.
they're also educational.
Wow.
And they're made with all natural,
Cool.
non-toxic materials.
That's important.
Yeah, so parents love them.
Yeah, I bet.
So what kind of things does she make?
Well, she makes a lot of classic toys,
Okay.
like wooden blocks,
Yeah,
puzzles.
gotcha.
But she also makes like little kitchens
Okay.
and tool sets and cars and trains.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
Yeah, it's adorable.
And all made of wood.
Yeah, all wood.
Wow.
Beautifully made.
So, what about her online presence? Is she on social media?
Well, she does have a website,
Yeah.
but she mainly focuses on local sales.
Okay.
So she does a lot of craft fairs,
Gotcha.
farmers markets,
Yeah.
community events,
Cool.
that kind of thing.
So she's really connecting with her community.
Yeah, she loves that personal interaction.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we've met 3 very different woodworkers
Hmm.
who are all successful.
Yeah, all in their own way.
Right.
They found what works for them.
But they all share that same passion
Yeah, definitely.
for woodworking.
Yeah.
Now, what's one thing that really stood out to you about their stories?
Well, I think one of the biggest takeaways is that it's important to find your niche.
Okay.
What makes you unique.
Right. So, like, what are you really good at?
Exactly.
What do you enjoy doing?
Yeah. And what do people want?
Right.
It's got to be all 3.
And when you find that sweet spot,
Yeah.
that's when the magic happens.
That's when you can really succeed.
So for all of you listening out there,
Yeah.
start thinking about your niche.
What's your special sauce?
What makes you stand out from the crowd?
Yeah. What's your story?
What do you want to share with the world?
I love it.
Now, when we come back for part 3 of this deep dive,
Right.
we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of actually starting your business.
Awesome.
So we're going to give you some action steps,
Cool. I like it.
some tips, some resources to help you get started.
Sounds good.
So stay tuned for part 3.
I'm ready.
Okay, so we've heard from some amazing woodworkers,
Yeah, they're really inspiring.
and they've shown us that it really is possible to turn your love of woodworking into a thriving business.
Absolutely.
But now it's time to get down to brass tacks.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like, how do we actually make this happen?
Okay, so where do we start?
Yeah, what's the first step?
Well, I think the first step is to really take some time to reflect on your woodworking skills and interests.
Okay, so kind of like we talked about with those successful woodworkers we met,
Exactly.
it's about finding your niche.
Yeah. What are you passionate about? What are you good at?
And I think it's important to be really specific here, right?
That's
Like, don't just say, I like making furniture.
right.
Like, what kind of furniture?
Yeah, what style? What type of wood?
What really gets you excited?
Yeah, what makes your heart sing?
Because I think when you're passionate about what you're making, it really shows
It does.
in the final product.
Yeah, and people can feel that.
Okay, so we've got a good sense of what we love to create.
Okay.
What's next?
Then it's time to do some market research.
Okay, so figure out if people actually want to buy what we're making.
Exactly. You got to make sure there's a demand for your product.
Right, because you can be the most talented woodworker in the world,
Yeah.
but if nobody wants what you're making,
Right.
you're not going to have a business.
It's not going to work.
So how do we do that market research?
Well, there are a lot of different ways.
Okay,
You can check out online marketplaces like Etsy,
gotcha.
see what's selling well there. You can go to local craft fairs,
Okay.
talk to other woodworkers.
See what's popular.
Exactly.
Get some inspiration.
Yep.
Okay, so once we've done our market research and we have a good sense of what people want to buy, what's next?
Then it's time to create a business plan.
Okay, now I know a lot of people hear business plan and they think like a big, scary document.
Yeah, pages and pages of numbers and jargon.
But it doesn't have to be that complicated.
No, not at all. It
Right.
can be really simple.
So what are the essential elements of a woodworking business plan?
Well, first, you need a vision statement.
Okay, so kind of like a mission statement.
Yeah, what's the purpose of your business? What do you want to achieve?
What impact do you want to make?
Exactly.
Okay, and then what?
Then you need to define your target audience.
Okay, so who are we making these things for?
Yeah, who's your ideal customer?
And once we know who our target audience is, what's next?
Then we got to figure out our pricing.
Okay, how much are we going to charge for our stuff?
Yeah, and this can be tricky
I bet.
because you want to make sure you're covering your costs, but you also don't want to price yourself out of the market.
Right.
So it's a balance.
Yeah. Any tips for figuring out that pricing sweet spot?
Well, do your research.
Okay.
See what other woodworkers are charging.
Mhm.
Consider your costs for materials and labor,
Okay.
and then factor in your desired profit margin.
So it's kind of a combination of art and science.
Yeah, you got to use both your head and your heart.
I like that. Okay, so we've got our vision, our target audience, our pricing strategy.
What's next?
What else do we need in our business plan?
Well, we need a marketing plan.
Okay, so how are we going to get the word out about our amazing woodworking creations?
Exactly.
And there are a lot of different options there, right?
Tons.
Social media website.
Craft fairs, farmers markets,
Sort of now.
collaborations.
It's really about finding what works best for you and your business.
Exactly.
Okay, so business plan is done.
Check.
What's next?
Time to set up your workspace.
Okay. And we don't need a fancy shop for this, right?
Yep.
We can make it work with what we've got.
Absolutely.
Garage, basement, spare room,
As long as it's safe and functional.
and inspiring.
Of course.
Okay, so workspace is ready.
Check.
Business plan is in hand.
Check.
What's the next big step?
Time to launch your business.
The moment of truth.
But remember, you don't have to go all in right away.
Okay, so start small.
Yeah. Test the water.
Maybe offer a limited selection of products.
Exactly.
Or participate in a local craft fair.
Yep.
And as we start making sales and getting feedback, we can gradually expand our business.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've launched our business.
Congratulations.
We're making beautiful things. We're connecting with customers. What else do we need to keep in mind?
Well, I think one of the most important things is to never stop learning.
Okay, so keep growing our skills.
Yeah. Take classes, read books, experiment in the workshop.
Because the world of woodworking is constantly evolving.
It is. There are always new techniques and materials to explore.
So we got to stay curious
Absolutely.
and open to new ideas.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that's really important is perseverance.
Oh, yeah.
Because building a business is hard work.
It is.
It's not always going to be easy.
There will be challenges.
Setbacks,
Yeah.
moments of doubt.
Definitely.
But we got to keep going.
Yeah. Don't give up on your dreams.
And remember why we started this in the first place.
Exactly.
That passion for woodworking, that joy of creating something beautiful and unique.
And that desire to share it with the world.
And it's also helpful to have a support system.
Oh, absolutely.
Other woodworkers, mentors, friends and family.
People who believe in you.
People who can offer encouragement and advice when you need it most.
Because you're not alone in this journey.
There's a whole community of woodworking entrepreneurs out there.
Ready to support you.
And celebrate your successes.
Cheers to that.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for our deep dive into the world of woodworking businesses.
Wow, we covered a lot of ground.
We talked about finding your niche, doing market research, creating a business plan, setting up a workspace, launching your business.
Marketing your products.
Yeah.
Managing your time, overcoming challenges.
It's been an incredible journey.
It has.
And I hope you're feeling inspired and empowered to take that next step.
Yeah, go out there and make your woodworking dreams a reality.
And remember, we're here to support you every step of the way. Happy woodworking.
Happy woodworking.